scenario as well, and if we have time, we'll allow you to ask some questions.
Okay.
Okay. So question number one. Tell us, Elias, what you were doing before Year Up, how'd you hear about us, and what made you decide to join the program?
Okay. So, before Year Up, I was working at a family friend's cell phone repair shop. So, what my job was specifically, I would repair the phone. So, if a customer would bring a phone, I would have to diagnose it, see what's wrong with it. Most of the time, it would just be replacing the screen. I worked on a lot of iPhones and such, and I was doing that for a little while. And then the way I heard about it, one of my friends actually completed the program, and he recommended it to me because I already have a technical background, just off my own interests. Since I've built computers and I helped a lot of people, and I was working on phones a lot, I already kind of had a knack for it, and that's how I pretty much heard it, or got introduced to it. And what was the last part?
What made you decide to join?
Oh, the reason I joined because I thought this was a perfect opportunity for me. It's the way to get my foot in the door in the technical field. Because before I didn't really have the money to take too many classes for it, or I didn't know how to start. And when I saw this program, I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to capitalize on my strengths.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you mentioned a lot about tech and the prior technology. So why is it that you want to work in tech?
Well, the reason I like working in tech is because that's something that really interests me. There's always some kind of new product coming out every day, and that's something I want to be a part of. The fact that, it's been in my life for so long, since I was a child. My family got a computer when I was, in elementary school, and I've pretty much been on it the whole time, even to this day. It's just kind of a part of me now, and seeing myself not in the technical field is kind of weird for me, because it's something that I'm really comfortable with. It doesn't take me too long to get familiarized with Macs, PCs, whatever. It just kind of snaps to me.
So, would love to learn a little bit more about your experience here at Year Up.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about growth areas,
Yeah.
and would love to hear what was your largest growth area here, your largest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
How did you deal with it? What was the feedback that you got? How did you show others that you were able to overcome that?
So, during the Friday feedback, I would get the same feedback every time, every time, and that would either be fixing my slant, or participating more in class, or just speaking out more and raising my hand. And that's always been a really big struggle for me, just off myself. Even in elementary school and high school, I never really spoke out very much and really gave my opinion. And during the feedback, they always tell me that you always have really smart things to say. Anytime you go up in front of the class, you're always really comfortable and you really know how to talk. And that kind of started maybe I should start participating more, because I feel like my input's important too, but I just don't raise my hand. And I started every class I would try to jot down every time I would raise my hand. I'd be like, I raised my hand once or twice in my professional skills class or what have you. And for one of the speeches, they were calling off, who wants to go first? And I was like, might as well, because I wanted to start participating more. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And the class kind of looked at me and was like, you want to go first? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you had a chance to review the different internship job descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So please, so let me know, what do you think makes you a strong candidate for any of the ones you decided to interview for?
I think I would fit into QA, just because I really enjoy the thought of finding a broken piece in someone else's product and helping them fix that issue. And I'm really meticulous about things. So I always make sure everything's really the way it needs to be. I always overlook everything. And for an example of this, for the web design class, there was a colleague who was having a lot of issues with their code, and I noticed them having an issue because they were sitting to the left of me, and I asked them if they needed any assistance, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm having an issue with this line of code that's not working right," and after reviewing it and looking at it, I noticed that one of the tags wasn't closed off, and I pointed that out, and they were like, "Oh, thanks, I really appreciate that," and it's just little things like that. Even though I wasn't like a really big example, it's still a little example.
So I'm going to throw a scenario out at you. You don't need the computer for this one, but I think this will be good based on your interest in quality assurance. So you're on a help desk team, and you have the project to analyze how quickly tickets were closed over the past 2 months, and what might have slowed down some of the processes. Talk us through the steps you would take to complete this kind of project.
Could you repeat it one more time?
Sure.
I'm not fully understanding.
You're on the help desk team, and you have a project to analyze how quickly tickets were closed for the past 2 months. Okay? So you notice that some might have slowed down. Some of the closing of the tickets may have slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? How would you approach this project to be able to do that kind of analysis?
So I have to pretty much figure out why the tickets are slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what approach would you take?
All right. If I'm noticing some of the tickets are slowed down, or slowing down to completion, I guess you could say, I would first go to my other teammates or the other people on my team and ask them if there's any issues going on with their tickets. See if there's how would I word this?
So let me phrase it in a different way.
Yeah, I'm having trouble.
You notice that people keep coming in with cell phone issues.
Okay.
With their iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over again, you're getting a rise. And you know what? That means that our tickets aren't moving as fast. Maybe the issues are taking longer. How would you approach figuring that out? What are the things that you're going to look for?
Well, the first thing I would look for is what the issue is. If it's since it's a recurring issue, I would want to research that specific one. Say it's like a software issue. I would first use some of my resources. I would ask my colleagues if they experienced this before. If, say, it's like a certain app isn't opening or something. I would see if there's some kind of driver issue or any hardware issue with it, because sometimes they're not compatible or something. And then I would do research on the internet, see why this is happening. Maybe there's some kind of new update that came out that isn't done correctly, and then hopefully once I find out the solution, I would then contact my team and let them know the solution, so hopefully the tickets start closing out faster.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, I'm going to ask you some more questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, here's a good one. So, could you provide me or give me an example of a time you did more than was required in your job?
My
or
job.
role?
Okay. So, working back at the cell phone shop, it was family owned. So, although it wasn't my family, it was a family friend. And the boss had a terrible habit of just leaving the store. And it would just be me and him a lot of the time. And I was solely responsible for the store. So I had to take care of the customers, take care of the money, repair the phones, receive any calls, and I had to do all of that by myself. And I took it upon myself just because I felt like it was a good experience. And I was like, I could just let the boss know, I can't do this anymore, this is too much responsibility, but, I was like, I might as well take it for what it is and get all the experience I can dealing with customers, dealing with money, and trying to do all that at once. and it worked out pretty well. Even though there's a lot of things to do, I managed to do them all. I feel pretty well, I think so, because no one really complained or anything. And that really helped me a lot. And yeah.
My question is, you may find that in an internship that you may have a remote manager, or your manager's just always in meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they may be a little difficult to reach, and you find that you are starting to have significant downtime on your internship. You're not sure what to do. Walk us through an immediate or longer-term plan to address this concern. And just try to be as specific as possible. And you know what I mean by downtime.
Yeah, like nothing, right?
Okay.
All right. So, and I can't reach my boss, right? Or my manager?
It's a little difficult.
Okay. The first thing I would do is still try to email my manager, let them know that, I'm having a lot of free time. I'm trying to fill that void with some kind of work so I could make myself better and learn new things. But if that doesn't work, I would ask around, and I would ask the manager again if there's any other teams that I can go to, or any teams that I can assist with similar projects, or some of the same similar work that I'm doing, so I can assist them. And then hopefully they'll give me a couple of names. Then I would contact them and see if they can toss some work my way, or if I can assist anyone in their work.
Thank you.
Right. So, here. So imagine it's 2 months from now, and you enter your internship. It's your first day of internship. What do you plan to do on your first week?
What I plan to do on my first week is try to get familiarized with everyone there that I'm probably going to be in contact with. So I want to get out of that green phase that, I don't know what's going on. I'm really nervous about everything. I want to get that out of the way. So I just want to get comfortable with everyone. I want to meet people. I want to, go to lunch with some people so I could get familiar with them and get more comfortable. And after that, I would start just I would just pretty much get familiarized with everyone there.
Okay. Yeah. Time for one more before the time.
Yeah. Do we have time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So, do you feel that it's more important to lead, or is it more important to compromise? And why would you come to that conclusion?
Honestly, I think both of them are important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's just one of them that I would choose. The reason I say that is because sometimes you need to be a leader, whether you like it or not. And what I mean by that is, if obviously there's a lot of conflict and commotion going on in your team, someone needs to take leadership and really figure out why all this is happening. And same with compromise, that if you're working on a project and there's a lot of ideas going around, and you give yours, and you're really adamant about it, and you're really this would work, blah blah blah, and everyone else on the team has someone else's idea. They want to do theirs. They want to work on theirs. It might work better than say mine, and then that's a point where you would have to compromise, because since the whole team is, on his idea, they're more open to have more ideas about it. They're going to work harder on it opposed to mine, and that's an opportunity. That's another way of compromising, how I see it.
Awesome. Thank you. So, I'm just going to pause it here for time.